we're gonna do an experiment. The next 7 to 10 days, I'm gonna eat probably 80% or more of my calories from ultra processed food. UPF basically means there's a bunch of crazy ingredients that I don't know what they are, ingredients that would never be in a household kitchen. This would look like it's a healthy food. It's not. I'm gonna eat this food, and the idea is Chris Van Tulleken makes the argument that when you're learning about our food system, instead of stopping eating the food, there's a book called The Easy Way to Quit Smoking, and they encourage you to smoke a ton of cigarettes as you're reading the book. I purposely do this for 7 to 10 days, and then see how we feel, and then go to the opposite side of the diet. So the rules of this experiment, to clarify: 7 days, I will be eating ultra processed foods as much as I can as a percentage of my diet. So at least 80% or more. After these 7 days, I will switch back to my usual diet, which is probably more like the opposite of 80% whole foods. And then the last 7 days, so days 14 through 21, I will actually be going deeper than I usually go, and we will go with non-conventionally raised meats. It's not a very fair comparison, this is a cherry pick, but after kind of binging yesterday with making nachos using Doritos, a lot of shredded cheese and sauces, and most of a bag of waffle fries, probably a 4,000 to 5,000 calorie day yesterday. And it wasn't in high quality, high protein dense. I feel gross this morning, to be honest. Now, we're gonna skip breakfast, drink lots of water. I got a bunch of clients, we'll see how it feels, but day one, that's what we're doing. And don't forget, if this has interested you, this experiment, stay till the end of the video and you can see the breakdown of my calories, macros, micronutrients, and everything in between. Day 2, ultra processed diet. Skipping breakfast today, went to ham yesterday, and ended up eating a bunch of shit. It's 5:30 in the morning. I'm gonna just have some coffee and water. For lunch today, I was like, okay, chicken korma, pears, chicken rice, it's pretty healthy. One tray, 420 calories, 24 grams of protein, so honestly not bad. Yesterday, I made nachos. This is the remnants of it. These made me feel so gross, but they were so delicious. So I made them with Doritos, shredded nacho cheese, some salsa, some sour cream. I also put some tomatoes in there, as you can see here, and there were some jalapenos in there as well. I actually had a couple sweets too left over from the Christmas holidays. I was doing my second 75 hard workout of the day, and I was outside walking and nearly shit myself. What I'm gonna do for the following days, approach this a little bit more realistically. Last night was a little bit of a cheat day, but it was delicious. And some of you might be wondering, okay, what's wrong with sour cream, let's say. It actually looks pretty good, but I have no clue what the fuck carrageenan is. I'll look that up next. That's going to be something I need to look into. And modified cornstarch. Definitely not something I'd have in my kitchen. So the filter these foods are being put through is if it has ingredients in it that are absolutely in left field, have no clue what they are, or definitely wouldn't find them in a usual kitchen, like a regular household kitchen, it's a red flag. Then if you look deeper, most of the time it's ultra processed. As this cheese an example: white vinegar, calcium chloride, potassium sorbate, calcium chloride again, microbial enzyme, annatto, cellulose, and natamycin. Definitely ultra processed. And then for these chips, don't even get me started on Doritos. No fucking shit. Doritos are obviously super ultra processed. Now I'm gonna get more realistic. Today for lunch, I have this chicken korma. It's chicken, rice, curry. 420 calories too, and it has 24 grams of protein. So this isn't actually unreasonable. Modified cornstarch, ultra processed. Sodium phosphate, maltodextrin, sodium citrate, guar gum, carrageenan again. Then we have canola oil, cornstarch again, spices, flavorings, etc. This isn't actually that bad. I'm not here to shit on these foods. It's just important to know that this is very different from your mom cooking you a homemade curry with all single ingredient items and making it with love right in front of you. This is better than obviously what I ate yesterday. Earlier today I had some yogurt as a snack at work. Activia, this is the flavored yogurt. Usually I'll just buy unflavored Greek yogurt. This one again, we have a couple of the sketchy. We see carrageenan again. Carotene for color. Anytime it adds flavor to it, natural flavor, sketchy. Again, this isn't awful. I'm not here to shit on this. This is much more processed than if I grab the Greek yogurt that's unflavored in my fridge and it has 4 ingredients. There's good decisions, there's best decisions, and then there's better decisions. For lunch, I'm gonna make this chicken korma and we will see how it goes. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Introducing nuggets. All jokes aside, chicken nuggets, can you go wrong? Is there a bigger staple of my childhood? Maybe, but this is high on the list. We are gonna destroy these. Not bad actually. Protein, 8 grams, 3 nuggies, 170. Yeah, that's not a great source, honestly. It's chicken nuggets. I mean, what do we expect, guys, honestly? Pretty legit that it comes with instructions right on the bag, though. I wonder how many calories this is. Probably a decent chunk. Chicken nuggets. I mean, come on. Sensational. Absolutely magnificent. Chicken nugget update. I'm hurting. So I was given a gift for Christmas. It was like a hot sauce advent calendar. Habanero mustard. Oh my God, that's hot. So I'm doing like a sauce roulette with this. So basically for 3 nuggets, 170 calories, 30 nuggets was included in the box approximately. I mean, this plate was 1,700 calories worth of nuggets. I'm gonna eat this all tonight. Yeah, my mouth's burning, but nugget roulette, very easy to eat. 1,700 calories would be very hard to eat in chicken and other side dishes, but when you're in that nugget gang, oh, no problem. Day number 3 of eating almost all ultra processed foods to see how I feel and how I perform in my workouts. We have some leftover chicken nuggets from last night. I thought I could eat the whole box. Couldn't. We have some peanut butter that has hydrogenated oil in it and some corn syrup. We got some multigrain English muffins. You'd look at these and think these are actually fairly healthy, but acetate tartaric acid esters of mono and diglycerides. Those are basically forms of fat that keep the bread shelf stable longer. Yeah, so like this isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's also not the best. Here's a contrasting example. Some leftover bread that my girlfriend made. In this bread, there's 3 ingredients. Actually, I might butcher her recipe. I'm pretty sure it's just flour, salt, and is it yeast? Don't quote me on that. There's 3 ingredients. I know that as a fact. That compared to this, which has like 20 something ingredients, and at least 5 to 6 of them were industrially produced. It also might react to our body differently because there's something called GRAS, generally recognized as safe. The FDA is in charge of approving foods. Now, GRAS means that I, as a capitalist and as a company, can deem that a new food additive that I've created, I've synthetically manufactured. I can say, oh, this is generally recognized as safe. I don't need to talk to you, the FDA, and get you to approve that this is safe for humans to eat. Unless something crazy happens, like happened with like trans fats, we end up with all these different foods in our food supply. And now in America, at least, there's over 10,000 food additives and chemicals. So my breakfast is gonna be unorthodox. I'm gonna have some chicken nuggets left over because they're there. I'm gonna put some of this lovely peanut butter on my leftover bread my girlfriend had. The biggest observation I've had so far, my hunger levels have kind of been a little bit wavy. Usually I'm a little bit more steady when you're eating more fruits, vegetables, meats. Now in this experiment, I woke up this morning at like 5 a.m. Felt really like a little bit of stomach pains, a little bit felt gross. I've just noticed that by now I'm very, very hungry. So much more intense hunger than I'd usually get this time. Now this could just be my own bias after reading that book. This is day 3 of the ultra processed diet where I'm eating 80% or more of my calories from whole foods. We'll keep you guys posted. 3 days in, ultra processed diet. Not bad for a runner. Should have the legs out, but that's all right. See those quads? Hey, Buster, who invited you in here looking all swole? Fuck yeah. Don't burn yourself. Boiling up some dumplings. I can't really describe it, but these dumplings are smelling a little funky, a little marinated, if you will. It might be I think there's shrimp in them, and it says may contain shellfish. And when in Asia, you need that sriracha. Some of this stuff's crazy. Super hot though. Have to be very careful with this stuff. Not only is he eating MSG, but he's drinking soy sauce out of plastic. Tonight's dinner is dumplings. We've got vegetable, pork, and black mushroom dumplings. Absolute impulse purchase. So ingredients, we have cabbage, pork, black mushroom, soy sauce, soybeans of course, dry shrimp, that's why it smelled funky, not gonna lie. Nothing too crazy. Oh, MSG of course. So this is probably gonna taste bomb. A little MSG goes a long way. Tapioca starch, soybean oil, mononitrate. Pretty standard, nothing we wouldn't expect. Maybe I did need a fork. All right, let's go without sauce. Oh, I dropped it. Oh fuck, this is gonna be like a double sauce. I didn't think this through. This is slippery. Okay, I can't eat that one first because I don't want the sauce to pollute my taste. Even though it smelled a little funky, obviously with like the shrimp or the other stuff when I was cooking it, not bad. I can definitely eat this. You know what? That's quite nice. Even though I know that the wrapping that they made this out of, as you've seen, was not all the highest quality ingredients. Let's do some quick math here, folks. 4 pieces, 6 grams of protein. That's all I really care about. Not much fat, actually. That's surprising. 1.5 grams of fat, 21 grams of carbs, 300 milligrams of sodium, give or take 42 grams of protein on this plate maybe. Obviously that comes with a heavy calorie price, probably close to 1,000 calories for that 40 grams of protein, but it's crazy to say, but this is by far the cleanest meal I've eaten for dinner so far in these last 3 days. I'm gonna enjoy my dumplings, dip it in this stuff. This is the end of day 3 of the ultra-processed diet. Right, let's fucking go. So it's day 5 of the ultra-processed diet. It is 6:10 at night. I didn't sleep very good last night. I'm not gonna blame the ultra-processed foods, but we have last meal of the day here. So I have 2 pogos and some leftover breakfast sausages. This is just gonna be it. We're not gonna eat anything too crazy here. All right, at this point in the experiment, I wanna explain a few of the frequently asked questions I've been getting from people. It is a very fair question to say, why would you do an experiment like this? It's a good question. So the short answer is because of the book, Ultra Processed People by Chris Van Tulleken. Now, he did basically a SUPERSIZE me-esque experiment, if you will. And for 30 days, he purposely ate 80% of his diet from ultra-processed foods. He related it to a popular book called The Easy Way to Quit Smoking. I didn't actually search, I think that's the title, but it encourages people who are addicted to cigarettes to continue smoking while they learn about the harms of cigarette smoke. They continue smoking, they learn more and more and more, and generally what happens is people get kind of grossed out by smoking. It takes a habit that is mainly in our subconscious, we're not thinking as we're smoking, to now, I remember learning about how they make this and what it does to me, and you kind of get grossed out because you start to consciously think about it. It's the same thing with ultra-processed foods. We have not eaten like this historically as humans for very long in the time horizon that we've existed. I'm someone that learns from doing something hands-on. So I figured if the author of this book does this experiment for 30 days, very scientifically, where they did blood draws, they did brain scans, they did everything in between, I figured subjectively, I can buy a shitload of foods with a ton of ingredients, many of which I don't know, and some of them now I do know because of this experiment, and see how it makes me feel, see how it makes me perform as I'm training for my Hyrox competition and my sub 3-hour marathon goal. And even while I'm balancing, working a full-time job while also building a business, like there's a lot of moving pieces here. So far, I've noticed a couple key things during this experiment. Number 1 is my hunger levels are a lot more like a roller coaster. So whereas usually my diet is probably at least 85 to 90% whole foods, so like one single ingredient foods, apple, chicken, rice, carrots. Now it is way over 80% and I'm eating a good chunk of this stuff. I'll get really hungry and I'll eat this food, and then maybe an hour or two later, instead of having like a gradual hunger that kind of comes on, I'll just kind of feel that blood glucose like drop, and I'll instantly feel like more like tired and or very hungry. Even like kind of craving certain foods and getting excited for certain foods. Like I look forward to these pogos. These are marvels of engineering. Now, number 2, I haven't been sleeping good. Maybe it's not the food. This is an N of 1 experiment. Can't really give much basis to this, but I do notice I haven't changed what time I'm eating. I'm not purposely force feeding myself. Only thing I've really changed is that diet, and my sleep hasn't been great this week. Number 3 is, again, I'm training for a Hyrox competition in 3 weeks. I'm doing hard interval workouts right now. I'm doing multiple day workouts where I might do strength early in the day and then I might do a run later in the day. I've had more occurrences this week of stomach upset than I have in the last, month or more of training. It's exponentially multiplied on the amount of times I've been in there thinking like, am I gonna shit myself during this workout? Or today on the rowing machine, I had a 9-kilometer rowing machine workout and I felt very nauseous and very sick to my stomach, if you will. Now, maybe I suck at using the rowing machine, but still, the workout's noticeable. That's kind of it, really. Honestly, like the perks of this experiment have been save time on cooking, besides heating something up by boiling it or putting it in the microwave. 2, it's very convenient. Like these foods are in my freezer, so I don't have to worry about having broccoli or chicken or beef or any of the other things that go bad in my fridge in a time constraint. He really hammers home this point in the book that these corporations and these transnational companies, they don't make these foods to purposely poison us. I really believe that there's no big cabal conspiracy on making us all sick and fat. I don't believe, at least. But I do believe that they're very, very good at capitalism. What happens when you take the experience and the success of the tobacco industry and then you buy all the big food companies and then you form these Frankenchild babies, which are now the modern food companies we know. They create these foods that are incentivized to sell as much as possible. They A/B test them. They make sure that people eat a lot of them. They eat a lot of them fast. They market them to children by using things like cute cartoon logos on boxes, and they use bright colors. And I think the system right now is set up in a way where incentives go to the farmers who mass produce the crops that can create these foods. These foods are created in a way where they have intellectual property. So, Pogo, you can damn believe Pogo is a trademark, but if I'm Joe Schmo and I farm beef, it's hard to put health claims on beef because beef is beef and I can't really patent beef. Can't make beef intellectual property. It's just a game of money. These foods, it's more profitable to sell these foods because they're not going to go bad. They're made with cheap ingredients. They're very, very palatable. That's why I'm doing this experiment. I want to purposely make myself feel sick, or maybe, you know, I knew it would happen because I like these foods. I grew up on these foods. And that is the goal of my experiment. I hope that's the goal for you. I hope you're curious. I hope next time you enjoy a bag of Doritos or whatever some of your vices are. One, don't be a dick to yourself because they were made for you to eat them and to not be able to resist them. And two, just get curious. Read the labels. If you don't know a label, like fucking ChatGPT is a beautiful thing. Throw it in there. Take a picture of the label and put it in ChatGPT and be like, hey, explain these ingredients to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Knowledge is power. Day 5 is done. See you next time. Welcome to day number 6 of the ultra processed diet. Today for dinner / like after work meal, we have a 3-meat pizza, straight cut, frozen French fries. Let's look at the ingredients. Potatoes, canola oil, salt, sodium phosphate, caramel, and annatto. Annatto is mainly used as a colorant. Gives it its kind of orangey yellow color. They use it in butters, fries, all sort of things. Overall, sounds like it's pretty harmless. For 17 fries, 100 calories, 18 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fat, and 1 gram of protein. Not surprising there. Now, this one is what I would consider to be like a frankenfood. So we have everything you can imagine. So many things here. Modified palm oil. There's just so many things here. It's not any of these one ingredients that's a problem. It's just the fact that when you combine all of these foods together to create a hyper palatable, highly profitable food product, that is the only goal when they make these foods. And in order for them to be profitable, they need to last long, they need to be cheap to make, and they need to be very, very tasty, so we eat them fast and we eat a lot of them. Pizza and French fries. All right, 1 bite. Everyone knows the rules. I overcooked it. I don't think it's as burnt as it looks, but probably like 3 minutes too many. It's pretty mid, like, let's be honest. Not much toppings. I fucked up by cooking it too long. Shitty, cheap, basic frozen pizza. Day number 7 of the ultra processed diet. For lunch today, we have the smoky jerk chicken Crave TV dinner. This thing actually looks pretty legit, not gonna lie to you guys. Let's show our mouth a good time. What a phrase. 370 calories, 23 grams of protein, only 5 grams of fat, and 56 grams of carbs. We have probably alcohol in there. There's just different things here really. Tapioca starch. Nothing too aggressive here. We have soy sauce. Overall, I don't see this as a massive red flag. I hope that what you guys are realizing is kind of the common theme of these foods in this experiment. Let's heat this bad boy up and make this. Doesn't look awful, actually. It's kind of small, but this is a pretty good little Scooby snack, if you will. All right, so we're here. It said remove the film, 2 minutes, stir it, and then hit it with another 2 minutes. So this actually smells very delicious. This is gonna slap. I can already tell that this is gonna be really good. 1 bite, everyone knows the rules. This actually smells bomb. That's good. We're talking macros here, like pretty low cal. Yeah, this gets a big green light from me, taste-wise at least. Again, there's a ton of ingredients, stuff like that, but besides the soy and the corn protein and the other things, I'm assuming to bolster the protein content, because if it was just chicken, it's more expensive. Outside of that, this is not a bad little choice for someone. All right, guys, this is one of the last meals of the ultra-processed diet. We have a Hungry Man dinner. It is literally chicken, like popcorn chicken with mashed potatoes, barbecue sauce, and corn. It's okay. I mean, at this point, I'm over this diet. It makes sense to me why it's so prevalent in our diet, especially in North America. We're probably one of the worst. Although all over the world, ultra-processed food is more and more popular. Some perks of it were awareness. I've learned a lot. It seems like every ultra-processed food I ate on this diet had modified cornstarch in it, some sort of soybean oil or canola oil, because it's cheap. It's a cheap form of fat. A lot of them have mono and diglycerides, which are like fat stabilizers, lots of thickeners, lots of MSG for flavor enhancement and the sodium, lots of soy protein as well. This is something I noticed a lot of. Soy protein concentrates, soy protein products, a lot of protein bars that I always thought were kind of, they just have a ton of cheap soy protein in them, which is kind of crazy to me. Advertisers are just so fucking good at marketing. It's impressive. Like, they're so good at marketing. I want to be upset about it, but I can't. It's almost impressive. It's just genuinely impressive. Barbecue sauce is pretty sweet. I bet you the sugar content in this meal's high. Of course, these meals are pretty price reasonable. So I'm getting 30 grams of protein. I'm getting 620 calories. I think these were under $5 each. It's kind of hilarious, but just under 3,800 calories, about 150 grams of protein, 440 grams of carbohydrates, and 150 grams of fat. Very hard to keep the protein up and carbs and fats down. Nutrient target's pretty good. Sodium, crazy high in this experiment, over almost 5 times the amount that they recommend per day. And yeah, very interesting little experiment, as you can see here on the screen. I'm looking forward to phase 2 of this diet, which is going to be absolute polar opposite. So if you think of the ultra processed diet, if you followed along this far, great, you've done a good job. If I'm thinking ultra processed diets over here, one extreme, 80% or more of my calories coming from just shit food, industrially manufactured food-like substances. The other side of the spectrum will be over here, a much more extreme, almost like borderline like tinfoil hat health conscious diet. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking time restricted fasting. So instead of constantly dropping calories in me and constantly keeping my digestive system revving, I'm actually gonna give my digestive system a little break, I think here. Between the ultra processed diet and the super health diet, or what, I don't know what to call it, I'm gonna do a 24-hour fast as like a halftime. If this is a football game, we're calling halftime. In the second half, I'm gonna do 10 days. No conventionally raised meats. So I'm gonna eat meats that I ordered from a ranch here in Alberta. This meat is grass-fed, it's grass-finished, ethically raised. It wasn't fed GMO soy, corn. It wasn't put in a confined agriculture operation where they can't move and they're getting like slaughtered in front of each other. This is ethically raised meat. So it's all the benefits of the amino acid content that you get from animal protein, but without the cortisol and all the negative byproducts of feeding our livestock shit. 2 is actually, I've never considered this before. I'm gonna go organic fruits, vegetables, produce. So organic ingredients. Now this is gonna be fucking expensive. And I'm actually gonna track money a lot more on this one to show you the cost. For the ultra processed diet, it was fairly cheap. And we're going single ingredient foods. We're going at least 90% whole foods. We are gonna see how I feel. I'll try and track cost a little bit for you guys. We'll talk subjectively about how I feel in my training. We will just contrast the two, because today I did a run workout and I fucking kicked ass, but I also felt like I was gonna puke and it felt a little harder than it needed to be. So phase 2, baby, let's fucking go.